So, for those who have been following the story of CALUM VON MOGER, and it's a sad story, and we're hoping that it's not going to have a sad ending. Nick Trigilli put out a video just before mine, and he said that it was a suicide attempt by CALUM VON MOGER as to why he jumped out the window. And I'm going to go over the story in a little bit, but I want to first say, Nick is my friend. And I want him to get the credit that he deserves on this story and a bunch of the work that he's doing on his channel, because I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this stuff for years. And I haven't seen a person that digs this hard into stories and gets the information that he has and does the due diligence into making sure the stories are correct. So Nick, I want to give him props for doing the work that he's doing on this story and other stuff on his channel, and I'm going to put a link below to watch his video.
Every time my arm reach out for you.
So this morning I was on RX Muscle with Leslie and Dave, and we went over some of the psychological issues that CALUM may have been having as to why he may have been going through the things that he's been going through now. And I had mentioned that it may have been a suicide attempt. And I had talked to Nick the last couple of days, but I didn't want to say anything in concrete until Nick was able to do the work that he did in order to find out the true story. And I'm going to say, it's I always say it's sad, right? But it truly is. And to see someone struggling in life to the point where they don't want to be here anymore is a serious thing, especially when it's a person like CALUM VON MOGER. People look at him and they say, this guy's got everything. Why would he want to do this to himself? And I think that there's a lot of reasons as to why people do these things to themselves. And I'm going to talk about it in a little bit after I explain to you guys what happened. So CALUM was in that house in the second floor, and three of his friends arrived, and he was cutting himself. And supposedly, the blood that was on the scene took 3 days to clean up. And after, he was telling people, he wants to die, he jumped out the window. The regular window, he busted through it. Okay, so he's getting more injured, more cut up, and lands on the ground. And he said to them that he wants to die. He doesn't want to be here anymore. And I know some people are saying, he was on drugs at the time, which he probably was because we know his drug issues. But for somebody to want to kill themselves, okay, there's things that lead up to that. It's not just because somebody took drugs and be like, hey, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. And I've talked about this before. His dog died, a kid out of wedlock. And there's some key things here that people aren't talking about. And I don't know why. And I've talked about this, and I brought myself involved in the conversation because I've been there before. Recently, I said to you guys, my estrogen level was high. I showed you guys my blood results and what it did to me. And I'm telling you guys, my entire life, you guys know how old I am. I don't want to remind myself again. What it did to me, okay, my estrogen level like that. I'm the most strong-willed person that you'd ever meet. Nothing phases me. I told you, I could lose all my money. I could have girl problems. They could cheat on me. They could do whatever they want. I get over it and I get through it. But how I felt at that time, I felt I didn't want to be here anymore. It wasn't to the point of me going and abusing drugs and alcohol because I knew no matter what, my situation would have been worse. And thank God I didn't, because you know why? I then found out the reason why I was feeling the way I did. And I don't think people look at this as a serious issue, but it is. Because you add that, and he was on a lot more hormones than me, okay? I take my measly 150 milligrams, 200 milligrams that I get made fun of my testosterone a week. And he was on, we know, a lot more things. And we all know what tren does to you. And you have to factor in all those things in this situation. You have that. You have alcohol. You have drugs. And you have him feeling the way he's feeling. What do you think could possibly happen? And as I was stating earlier, people look at him, they go, oh man, the guy's good looking. He looks like Arnold, for God's sakes, right? And he doesn't want to be here anymore. My family, my friends, looked at me the same way. They said, John, what the fuck is wrong with you? You could have everything you want if you want to work at it. But I felt that way. People don't understand these things. So for Colum's sake, I know that he's still in a coma. And hopefully he can come out of this okay. And if he does, everything has to be looked at. And if he's strong-willed enough to get off this shit, and you know what, now he's forced to get off this stuff, he may be able to think clearly and see what he has to offer in life, the things that he can do in life, and he can love himself again. And if he loves himself, he will cure himself from this without the drugs. So again, I told you guys, let's say a prayer. Let's say another prayer for him. Hope he comes out of this, and hope that he can get over this without the use of those drugs and everything else. And hope his family and his friends can assure him the person that he is.